All right, guys, how's it going? So in this video, we're going to be touching on why retention matters so much. Now, for those of you who have never been in any sort of sales industry, this is going to be something that's new to you. For those of you who've already been in Medicare for a while, this is something you should be familiar with, but I want to put more emphasis onto it because I notice a lot of agents that are coming onto prosperity, maybe they've been in an agency prior where retention wasn't really a focus at all. Maybe they're on some sort of comp structure that doesn't really incentivize retention. But I do want everyone to be aware of this. So obviously the main attraction with Medicare is the fact that you do get level set renewals on a monthly basis for your clients that are active. Obviously, if they're not active, you're not going to get the renewal. So that's one reason why retention matters. Another is just due to the fact that you will get charged back if they fall off within the same calendar year. Now, if they fall off within 90 days, that's considered to be a rapid disenrollment, and you will get charged back the full commission. If they fall off after that, you just get charged back the prorated amount. So that's another reason to avoid chargebacks. Third reason, compliance. It doesn't look good on the carrier if you're submitting a bunch of policies and not a lot of them are going into effect. It is not a good look. Even if they don't result in CTMs or complaints, it's not a good look for the carriers. So you want to avoid just writing BS business that just doesn't even go into effect in the first place. So those are the couple main reasons why retention matters. Now, I want to just show everyone an example of what it looks like, So the easiest example here, we'll just use AEP comp, which 1/1 effective in 2026 is worth $347, right? $347 compensation for 1/1/26 effective. Something I notice a lot is agents, they'll come up to us, and again, this is just due to people not being familiar with how the industry works. But people will come up to us. Maybe I should get rid of this because that looks like negative. People will come up to us and be like, "Hey, Nick, I submitted X amount of policies, but my check looks like this. Where's the rest of my money?" And it's like a couple of things. One, do you even know out of the, let's just say 25 people, do you even know out of the 25 policies that you submitted, how many even went into effect? Yes or no? Okay, you don't? Well, let's start there. Take a look at the 25 policies that you submitted, see how many went into effect. Okay, 20 of them went into effect. Out of those 20 that went into effect, how many are actually still active? Oh, 15. Okay, so you see how it quickly starts to go down. What you submit is not what you're going to get paid out. That's just not how it works. Unless you're just like, doing strictly field business, or you have a really, unless you're just doing strictly field business, then you can, I would feel safe. Like if I'm doing strictly field business, I submit 10 policies. It's a good chance that 10 of them are going to go into effect and they're going to remain on the policy. If it's telesales, you gotta think with telesales, it is more so just a volume game. Yes, you can write quality business, and we do. But with telesales, it's more so focused on volume. You got to take into account not every single policy that you submit is going to go into effect. And the ones that do go into effect, you got to expect for there to be fall off. That's just the nature of the game. So we get a lot of agents that when it's their first time in the industry, or if it's their first time actually being on a model where they have to worry about chargebacks, they're extremely confused on the checks that come in, when in reality, 25 submissions. This is what's in the agent's head. 25 submissions for $347 per policy equals a check of, what is 25 times 347? equals a check of $8,675. That is not reality. The reality is you submitted 25 policies. Maybe out of that 25, 20 went into effect. And out of the 20 that went into effect, maybe there's still 18 overall that's actually active. So 18 times 347 and that's what it looks like. That would be someone's actual check. And I do that example because I would say typically you can expect for telesales at least 70 to 75% effectuation rate or retention rate. That's a good look for a 90, 120 day window. Those are like good numbers that you want to aim for. Now, you take this same number here, you take a look at the same policies. And remember, with Medicare, if you're getting paid directly from the carrier, it's coming in on a monthly basis. You have the different checks and everything that come in on different pay schedules. Let's just say, these 18 policies here, or we'll look at it like this. So 1/1/26 effective equals $347. 2/1/26 effective is $318. People need to understand that chargebacks are a real thing. So in the same example here, let's just say those 18 policies that we had go into effect and get paid out. We got paid $6,246, whatever. Let's say in January, we do another 25 policies. 25 February 1st, 25 February 1st, effective policies submitted. We now know that, if we submit 25 policies, we're not going to get paid out on all 25. We'll just do the same example of 18 getting paid out. Oh my God. We now know that 18 will actually get paid out. So 18 times 318 equals we're looking at $5,724. Now, 25 submissions for a 2/1 effective. We know not all of them are going to go into effect, and we know that we're going to have some that may fall off. So 18 policies actually getting paid out times 318, which is how much 2/1 effectives are worth, is going to give you a check of $5,724. This, however, is assuming that we had no January 1st effective policies fall off. Let's just say your retention was pretty solid and, out of these 18 January 1sts that got paid out, let's just say 3 fell off. So now you got to factor in, and let me do it under here. We had 3 1/1/26. Let me just type this. Okay. We had 3 1/1/26 effectives that got paid out fall off. So that's 3 times 347. 3 times 347 equals $1,041. Equals blah, blah, blah. That's how much you would get charged back. So that $5,724 minus 1,041. That check of $5,724 quickly turns into 4,683. That is the actual takeaway with chargebacks factored in. And it just continues like that each and every single month. AEP is a really volatile time of the year, so you are naturally going to have more AEP chargebacks than any other effective month. So, when we get these questions from agents talking about, they're confused as to why the money that they're seeing on their checks is less than what they thought it would be. For one, as the agent, you should be managing your book of business at all times. You need to have your own individual spreadsheet that you are doing, bi-weekly or weekly marks audits. And we do provide our agents with a CRM that tracks every single thing for them, that makes it extremely easy to do those audits. So it's just a matter of you as the agent, you need to know your book of business. There's no reason as to why you should be asking your upline or your agency owner, you shouldn't be asking them how many clients do I have active on my book of business. You are the agent. You have the information. You have your clients' MBIs. You know who you enrolled. You know what applications you submitted. You should be storing that information. If it's not automatically done for you, which we do for our agents, you need to be taking a look at that information. You need to be seeing, okay, I submitted 10 policies last week. Let me go ahead and see that those policies are going into effect still on marks. Okay, they're not. Let me check the carrier portal and see what the issue is. Oh, this person has an invalid SEP. Oh, this person doesn't have the correct Medicaid level. Oh, this person got disenrolled from the policy. Why? Let me take a look and see. Oh, they never submitted the VCC form and got kicked off the CSNP. There's all these different things that you as the agent, you need to take control of, and you need to really start owning your business. If you're getting a renewal, you need to own your business. You need to be on top of everything. You need to see how many clients you have month to month. Are the policies that you're submitting, are they going into effect? Take a look at the previous months. Are these people still active? Reach out to your clients, put them in automations, do everything that you can. That way you're not surprised when you get your next check. Again, like going back, like we have so many people that they'll be very confused about it, where there's nothing confusing about it. It can be a surprise for sure. Be like, oh, damn, like I didn't expect my retention to be that low, but it should never be a surprise to you, or it should never be confusing, I should say, because if you as the agent, again, like I haven't sold consistently like that in a while, but when I was selling, especially during AEP, but throughout the rest of the year as well, I had a spreadsheet to where I'm checking everyone's marks bi-weekly. Was it tedious? Yes, 100%. It was extremely tedious, but it's necessary because you need to know who is on your book of business. It's as simple as that. You need to know who's on your book of business. You want to avoid chargebacks. And if you see them coming up, you want to be able to reach out to that client to try and get them back before the chargeback hits. And yeah, I really think it's as simple as that. Make sure you have the different tools in place, which we do. We have the CRM that puts all the client information in there automatically once you submit the application on Sunfire. We have a retention specialist. We have the workflows that are going. But ultimately, still, you as the agent, you need to be on top of everything. You need to actively be looking at the client's marks. You need to check the carrier portals to see if the client is falling off, what the reason is, if the policy doesn't go into effect, what is the reason. You need to be on top of all of that, because you can see over here in this example, for one, let's just get rid of the misconception that 25, like whatever you submit is what you're going to get paid. Let's just get rid of that immediately. We know that that is not true. And then from that, the policies that you do get paid out on, you need to make sure that you're not getting a bunch of chargebacks that'll offset that. Because yeah, in this scenario, this person submitted 25 February 1st effectives, and 18 are getting paid out. So in this agent's head, now that we got rid of the submission misconception, they see, okay, 18 policies are active. I'm getting paid out on 18 policies. And yes, technically that is true. You are getting paid out on 18 policies, which is $5,724. But if you're not staying on top of your other policies, because it's not like you just submit it, you get paid, and you're good. No, you got chargebacks to worry about. So you need to be on top of your book of business overall, not just the people that you're currently selling or that you just recently submitted policies for. You need to maintain your entire book of business, or else, once the chargebacks hit, you're going to be like, oh shit, my check that I was expecting, $5,724 for turns into 4,683. And now you're just like, damn, that's a lot less money than I thought. Yeah, it is. But also, too, you had three 1-1 effectives charged back on you. And this is something that agents need to be on top of, or else it can pile up throughout the year. Where, just say you took the month of February or you took the month of January off, AEP was extremely busy. You want to just decompress, take the year off, or start the year off a bit slow. Let's just say instead of doing 18 policies that got into effect, maybe this person only just worked some referrals and that was it. And they only submitted 5 policies. And we'll just say all 5 of those policies actually go into effect. So 5 times 318 is 1,590, right? Let's just say they wanted to take January off because they're still getting back into it. They had a long break from AEP. They only submitted 5 policies. And all 5 of those policies do go into effect. So they're expecting to get paid out $1,590. But in the same example, if they still have those 3 January 1st effective policies fall off, boom, you have a chargeback of $1,041. You're walking away with less than $500 on your check. Or actually, yeah, $590. So in this example, this person, they wanted to take the month of January off. They got hit with chargebacks from AEP. They were expecting $1,500. They ended up getting paid a little over $500. And that's how it is. You need to be on top of it. And 3 chargebacks isn't a whole lot, to be honest. It's really not. 3 chargebacks is not a lot. But it's one of those things with Medicare to where you need to constantly be writing volume to offset the chargebacks that you're inevitably going to get. Again, if your business is mainly referrals and field, maybe it's not something that you really need to worry about. Like, you don't have to put out a crazy amount of volume because your book is stickier. But if you're purely doing telesales, or if that's your main source of, leads and the sales that you do, yeah, you need to be doing volume to keep counteracting the chargebacks that you're going to get. That way your monthly check is hitting. It's just one of those things. So some ways that you can really stay on top of your retention is kind of by doing all the different things that I mentioned earlier, CRM for automated workflows, a retention team, or if you don't have a team, you're doing the retention efforts yourself as well. Mailers, you can do mailers for your people. We have a system that does automated mailers for everyone that we sell. There's all these different things that you can do, making sure that you're running a marks audit every so often, checking the carrier portals. Do what you need to do as an agent. But also the most important thing is, what are you doing on that first initial phone call? If this is some 20-minute, 25-minute enrollment, for one, I'm really questioning the compliance of that. But 2, how much of a relationship did you build with that client within 25 to 20 minutes? How did you distinguish yourself from all the other people that they're listening to over the phone? I really doubt that you did if it's less than that. How much did the client get to know about you? How much did you get to know about them? The first initial phone call is extremely crucial because if you take your time, if you really do an in-depth needs analysis, if the client gets to really know you and vice versa, it makes the retention that much easier. But if you're just going through these like bing, 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 15, 20-minute enrollments, whatever, let's just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Yeah, you can do as many follow-ups as you want, but if this person doesn't even remember who you are, it's kind of useless. So the best thing for retention is that, that first initial phone call. What are you doing on that first initial phone call? I'm wearing this hat because my hair is crazy right now. Um, yeah, I mean that's really all I have to say when it comes to retention. I think it is one of the most crucial parts about this industry because the main attraction to it is the renewal aspect. So you really, really, really want to take retention serious, guys. That's all that I got right now for retention. Appreciate you guys for watching the video. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out.